Now that some time has passed, when you look back at that encounter, which I really do think is historic with the uncontacted tribe, what do you think about? What lingers with you?
Honestly, I'm still processing it. I'll still find myself just staring off, sort of remembering it or looking at the footage. But it felt like the voice of the jungle was speaking. These people are. There's that separation between humans and nature where we have to protect nature. It's like the fish that, explaining what water is to a fish. We're part of it. We depend on it. And these are people that depend on it 100%. And as we sit here surrounded by technology and concrete and civilization, they're still out there right now. And the fact that we've been trying to protect their home without even really knowing that they were in it because they're so elusive, it gives you perspective on where we came from and how far we've come. I look at simple things, you board an airplane or you take a picture and you go, this is a miracle. And I think having that perspective of having interacted with them where you go, how much work does it take to make this? If me and you were standing in the jungle and somebody said, you have to make this, how many years before we came up with this? How many rubber trees, and where would we get the metal, and what would we use as dye, and how do we make the spring mechanism and figure out how to make it rotate? I don't know. And it's like they are working with the bare essentials. And so it's an interesting reference point to start at in terms of how incredibly privileged we are. The other thing is we have so many different types of text, and we have code, and we have language, and we have music, and we can communicate in all these different ways. And they have spoken word, they have oral tradition, and that's it. And so they're operating the way our great time, to the power of what operated and persisting in modern times. And so I think for me, I come back to the world, and I think it moves very fast when I see it, because I'm still stuck on, whether or not me and you can drink out of that puddle.
Yeah.
And
The
thinking
big
about
questions
them.
of life.
The big questions of life.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're right from the perspective of the uncontacted tribe. I think going from the technological world to the jungle, you realize the majesty, the magic of the biological system that is the jungle, that is nature. But from their perspective, also there is a majesty and magic to the technological world, the human created technological world of the pen and the computer and the light bulb. That too is magical. So sometimes
Absolutely.
we don't give enough credit to both. The magic of the technological world, all the incredible things humans have been able to build, and the magic of the natural world.
I mean, what we've been able to achieve, I think you and I and people that spend large amounts of time in the wilderness, especially somewhere as remote and fundamental as the Western Amazon, have a different perspective on it. Because I think that when you're born in it, you don't necessarily have the framework to appreciate how far we've come. Because you go, yeah, I got on the train today. I checked my phone, I FaceTimed my mom, and you're like, this is all normal. And it's like, we found a way to take things out of the ground and mix them together into magic devices that can do anything. And it's mind-blowing.
There's a deep optimism to that. And you actually write in the book, which I really like, I think somewhere in the beginning, quote, given all the death and destruction I've witnessed, it would be easy to slip into the popular anti-human narrative that we are a plague on the planet and there's nothing that can be done. But my career in conservation has given me a glimpse into an alternate narrative. I've met people who are proving more and more that something can be done. I'm talking about real heroes, people who have dedicated their lives to redeeming the evil that is capable of being waged by the human soul. People who are guarding the flame amidst the storm, proving every day what so many have forgotten. There is still hope. And that speaks against sort of the cynicism and maybe apathy and the view that humans are a destructive force in the world. That speaks to the fact that humans, with all the technological elements that we have created, can actually do a lot of good.